Good morning, everyone. I got Coda. She's a snow white husky, 14 years old. She's looking at me from the window. What do you want? You were already out. I can let her out without the leash, but you have to watch her. She's 14. She's dragging her back legs a little bit. Not too bad, just depends what mood she's in. This is a very moody dog. So I thought last night, she has to usually be kennelled at night. And then she does just fine, right? Yes, yeah. And then last night she was laying on the rug next to my bed. I thought, I'll just leave her out, I mean, come on. Get up this morning and she had peed all over the floor out here. It's just a concrete floor down here, and you peed all over the floor. It's interesting to me. I say that about my own dogs. I know my dogs best. Don't tell me what to do with my dogs, right? And it's the same here, right? But you think, yeah, well, it's not the owner of the dog. Though my daughter told us don't. It's not a good idea, right? Yeah. Well, I cleaned up the floor this morning. First thing I did. So learned my lesson, huh? Yeah, she can hold it just fine when she's in the kennel. Huh? You? Yeah? What? Yeah. So. Uh. Oh. Had an interesting little thing happening last night. So it's summertime. Who wears shoes in the summertime? I don't, unless I really have to. And so cruising around. Oh my gosh! By the time I hit 1 o'clock, I was ready for something. I'm not sure what, but the children were all over the place. And it's again, so you think, yeah, they're certain ages, and they should be fine just on their own. You don't have to keep your eyes on them all the time. Yeah, no. So up around the house, got ready there because they were playing on the dirt piles over here, and then something happened. I said, "Oh no, we're done. We're done with that. No, I can already see everybody's imp came out." And oh no, you can't get hurt while you're with me. And I went and got the little sprayer out of the front yard, and there were some wood chips, and I came back here and we did the spraying thing. Everybody had fun, and then that was enough water. This is amazing to me how much water one can waste here. Unbelievable. We can't do that at the farm. We're restricted what we're being given from the sky, right? And so we're very careful how we use our water. And here you can just, how many gallons did I just spray at the kids? Just like that. So, but I'm not really in favor of that, regardless if there's enough water or not. So we're gonna make more use of the creek in the coming days. But when we were done with the spraying thing, and then they did their own thing again, I'm looking at my feet and going, oh my gosh, what happened to my feet and part of my ankles? And I must have come in contact with some kind of a poison, a fertilizer or something. I'm not sure. The wood chips, how they were treated or whatever, and I've got bumps all over, and I mean it's just a rash. You can tell it's like hives or something, and they'll be gone, in a couple of days. But oh, what do I have to watch out here for? So here I am, not allergic to plants or anything like that, but came in where am I here? I'm in a subdivision kind of thing, and people put what out? I don't know. Anyway, or what they have in the yard they bring from the store. And here I am. uh, oh wow, that fast. I had a reaction. And so I think, people think about that, when they put certain things out and how that affects the birds and the worms, and all kinds of other little critters that are so important for our ecosystem. Right? How do they survive? They don't survive. If my feet have this kind of reaction, I wonder what kind of reaction they have. Like death. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I just think about this kind of stuff, how I react to some things, and then, wow, interesting. Well, anyway, let's get going here. It's early in the morning. Oh, my little granddaughter had to go to daycare today. It's one of those things, even though I'm here and she doesn't really need to go to daycare, in order for them to keep her place in the daycare, they have to continue to pay. And so she has to go at least once, right? A week out of the 3 days that she usually goes, and so that they can keep the place. And it's like, oh, dear me. Wow, it's interesting again, and how things just work, right? Okay, that's balance too, for the daycare and how they keep going, right? If that's their main job, then yeah. But still, anyway, I wonder if that couldn't just be, okay, right, Danielle, I won't go there. It's what it is. I never had that with my children. I was a stay-at-home mom. Yeah, I worked too. I did all kinds of things, make a little money, and but I homeschooled, worked, did everything at home as well. Had a garden there too. Always had a garden, but my children were never in daycare. I don't even remember ever having a babysitter at home that I paid. I'm just saying. It's one of those things. I have to say, I was just one of those. Once I was a mom, and again, people that know me as a teenager, they'd go, she'll never have kids, she'll never get married. Well, that's how I've thought about it. Just because I have plans, right? Yes, God had other plans. I went with God's plan. Once I had my first child, though, it was like I immediately switched to 100%. Now you got another job. This is, right? And loved it. I loved, I loved raising my children. I really did. And the little bit that was, oh dear me, one would like to have a little time, and in a way, I always make that time for myself as well. I think that's why I never had postpartum depression. I just, again, I think if one lives with regrets, right, continuously, I wish I would have had those 2 days ago, I don't know when, to where I didn't have this or that around me, or regrets on even, in the life that you are in, this, that. It's so unproductive, yeah. And that was one thing that just, I didn't live like that. It was always, this day's done, the day before is done, now the next day, right? And that was it. Lamenting over things was never my thing. And now I think back and I wonder more, what could I have done different, rather than someone else, and on how some things you just don't control. It's done. It's done, right? And you do the best, right, that you can do. Yes, that's it. That's all one can expect, really, from one's life. You do the best. Don't expect that from someone else if it isn't there. Right? Yes? So, that is that. There's a robin sitting on the fence over there. Are you waiting for me to get started? Well, let's get started then. Yeah. Now I'm here being a grandma, and I'm 100% invested. Oh, so she had to go to daycare. Last night she kind of freaked us out a little bit. Oh, which reminds me of that story as well. Oh my gosh. Ugh, dear me. So she comes down and it's already dark down here, and suddenly my older granddaughter who was sleeping over and staying with me down here, she goes, Cruzy, oh my gosh, it just freaked me out. Now look, I said, what? I said, look at the doorway. And there she's standing like a little ghost. I said, come on in. So she wanted to sleep with us downstairs, but Mommy said, no, you have to go to daycare in the morning, so we're not going to disturb Rosie and her cousin. So she had to go up. She got back out of the bed, went up, and had to kind of prep her a little bit. Well, tomorrow you're going to go to daycare. That's going to be so wonderful. You have a special day. You can come and tell us all about it. She looked at me like, I think Rosie's what's she trying to do? I don't want it. And it's just like, but you're going to have a great day. Anyway, so there is that. She'll have stories to tell. I'll make sure I'll ask her all about it. So I saw the story an ER doctor told where guy, okay, they ended up, long story short, they ended up delivering a baby in a car, and they didn't even know that she was pregnant, just kind of big. The guy, the end sentence of the ER doctor was, the guy was very, very religious and thought that a demon was trying to eat its way out. What? That's a very, very religious person. Okay, I'm just saying, it's like, to me, this kind of stuff is, huh? All right. I don't know. It's just, I mean, one could say so much to that, right? Where, okay, it's not, it's just, oh, well, now I heard it all. I have really, okay. All right. We are in Deuteronomy 33. Maybe I had to have a couple of laughs this morning. Let's see what's going on here today in Deuteronomy. Moses blesses the tribes. Deuteronomy 33. This is the blessing that Moses, man of God, pronounced over the Israelites before he died. He said, now it says here it's a blessing. And it's Moses who gave that. So that came from him then, right? So we had the song that God wanted him to give to the people, which ended up sounding really dire, not. And here is Moses now blessing the tribes. Yahweh came from Sinai. From Zaire he dawned on us. Yahweh came from Sinai. That's an odd beginning. From Mount Paran blazed forth, for them he came. After the mustering at Kadesh, from his zenith as far as the foothills. You who love the ancestors, your holy ones are all at your command. At your feet they fell, under your guidance went swiftly on. Oh, now he's talking about God, though. I thought it was for the people. Moses enjoined a law on us. That's in parentheses, so this is a little confusing, isn't it? The assembly of Jacob comes into its inheritance. There was a king in Yeshurun, when the heads of the people foregathered and the tribes of Israel were all assembled. May Reuben survive and not die out. Survive, though his men be few. Reuben? How did they deplete? Or of Judah he said this, Listen, O Yahweh, to the voice of Judah, and bring him back to his people, that his hands may defend his rights, come to his help against his foes. Again, okay. So these Reuben and Judah must have been, maybe they were warlords already in the tribe of Israel. Of Levi, he said, to Levi give your Urim to your faithful one, your Thummim, having tested him at Massah, having striven with him at the waters of Meribah. Of his father and mother, he says, I have not seen them. He does not acknowledge his brothers, nor does he know his own children. Yes, they have kept your word. They hold firmly to your covenant. They will teach your customs to Jacob, and your law to Israel. They will put incense before you and burnt offerings on your altar. Yahweh bless his worthiness and accept the actions he performs. Crush the loins of those who rise against him and of his foes, so that they rise no more. Of Benjamin he said, Beloved of Yahweh, he rests trustfully near him. The Most High protects him day after day and dwells between his hillsides. Of Joseph he said, His land is blessed by Yahweh, for him the best of heavens do, and of the deep that lies below, the best of what the sun makes grow, of what springs with every month, the first fruits of the ancient mountains, the best from the hills of old, the best of the land and all it holds, the favor of him who dwells in the bush. May the hair grow thick on the head of Joseph, on the brow of the consecrated one among his brothers. Firstborn of the bull, his the glory. His horns are the wild ox's horns, with which he gores the peoples to the very ends of the earth. Such are the myriads of Ephraim, such are the thousands of Manasseh. What a blessing, my dear Lord. Of Zebulun he said, Prosper, Zebulun, in your expeditions, and you, Issachar, in your tents, on the mountain where the people come to pray. They offer upright sacrifices, for they taste the riches of the seas and the treasures hidden in the sands. Of Gad he said, Blessed be he who gives Gad space enough. He lies there like a lioness. Why not like a lion? He has savaged arm and face and head. Dear me, what is in Moses' head? Then he took the first portion for himself, saw that there was stored up for him a leader's share. He has come at the head of the people, has carried out the saying justice of Yahweh and his judgments on Israel. Of Dan he said, Dan is a lion cub, leaping from Bashan. That's it. Guess he didn't know the tribe of Dan very well. Of Naphtali he said, Naphtali, sated with favors, filled with the blessings of Yahweh. The west and south are to be his domain. Of Asher he said, Most blessed of the sons let Asher be. Let him be the most privileged of his brothers, and let him bathe his feet in oil. Be your bolts of iron and of bronze, and your security as lasting as your days. That's an interesting one. Let him be the most privileged of his brothers. God doesn't work that way. There's nobody privileged, or why would God privilege Asher more than others? Yeah, we don't know enough about all this, do we? But it sounds like be your bolts of iron and of bronze, and your security as lasting as your days. They mention different things, like the tribes have different strengths. So again, status when it comes to riches is already one of those. Okay. No one is like the God of Yeshurun. He rides the heavens to your rescue, rides the clouds in his majesty. The God of old is your refuge. That's a long one, just for Asher. Dan had 3 little lines. What am I supposed to think of that? Hey. His the eternal arm which here below drives the enemy before you. He it is who says destroy. Oh my gosh, just this whole thing. Israel's rests trustfully. The wellspring of Jacob is chosen out for a land of corn and wine. There heaven itself rains down dew. Blessed are you, O Israel, who is like you, O victorious people. Yahweh is the shield that protects you and the sword that leads you to triumph. Your enemies will try to corrupt you, but you yourself will trample on their backs. That's 33. Okay. That's the blessings for the tribes. Moses blesses the tribe. That's how he blesses the tribe. Interesting. I have no idea. It must be a guideline again. Oh, we got one left, you guys. Then we are in the book of Joshua. I don't know what to make of 33. Maybe others get this better. To me, again, this all sounds more. It's just be one bloodbath after another, or not. I don't know how it went from there. Well, I guess we'll find out some. It seems like Moses knew certain tribes better than others. That's kind of what I'm getting. And I must assume that the tribes that made up the armies, more or less, were very valued. Right? Yes, due to the fact their protection, right? Yes, and people have to give their lives. And so, husbands, fathers, grandfathers, brothers, they're all getting killed. In all the interesting conflicts they have with others. And interesting that, and the Levites, that when he talks about the Levites, it's not much there. That should be the longest one, right? If one would want to acknowledge, really, okay, that's the true guidance of God there. Otherwise, the people are doing just more or less what they want. Because otherwise, why the continued threats, warnings? They're not even warnings. They're just downright destruction of others. Right? They're not like them. Interesting. But again, maybe I just don't understand this quite right. It's a possibility. I almost hope so. So I'm going to finish. This is going to be a short one, it looks like. I don't have much to say to it. I'm not quite getting what. Not quite sure. Seems like. I don't know. I have no idea. Not. One could speculate and to speculate over some other person's thoughts and words by not really knowing them. And one would think, well, we kind of know Moses now a little better. Some things we do, and yet, again, one has to have a proper conversation with someone. Someday, I'll meet Moses in spirit world. I've actually had Moses around me once or twice, and it was interesting. I always feel that most of the time when it is spirits, okay, that they're around me because there's still something unfinished for them. Okay, something that still they would like to be a part of that rights some wrongs that happened in their life. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it. Yeah. So we'll see. Someday I'll be able to ask him directly. So, what was that all about? How did that all come to? And how? What? Why was there so little understanding of the nature of God at that time? That's what I see. Well, anyway, it was what it was at that time. I just saw a little. Someone shared. We have a little 11-year-old boy here in Kentucky that went to America Got Talent. And he's good. He's really good. And for an 11-year-old to be able to sing like that, and the spirit that went with it, his emotions, it was beautiful. It really was. And of course, there's some growing to do, but yet, it's amazing. That little boy is amazing. So, we have, yeah, Kentucky is kind of always seems to be represented everywhere a little bit with really talented people. It's an amazing state to live in. I shouldn't say that. We don't, okay, I shouldn't say that. It's also one of the 10 states the least liked to live in or something. What? Why? It's a great state. It really is. I love it. I love it here. And everywhere I go, just about. I'm not a city person, so. And we had our protests here, in Louisville and Lexington. I guess you got some crazies all over the place. It doesn't matter where you live. Crazies. Oh, don't call them that. I'm calling them that. Not just that, they're criminals and hoodlums and whatever else goes with it. If people were a part of these protests and didn't destroy anything and didn't, then that's fine, and didn't support the destruction that went with it, okay. Then you stand for something and you're willing to take care of it peacefully, right? Yes. Which brings us back to the Bible and Deuteronomy now. What did they do there? Oh, lots of destruction, and killing, and looting, and booties, and slavery, and lots of horrible things went on there. Oh, just because the Israelites did it, that makes it fine now? No, it doesn't. It's not okay. Wasn't okay. And it will never be okay. No matter where you stand. That's never the solution. Never has been, and it never will be. Violence, destruction, killing others because what? Whatever? No. Abusing another human being because you can? It's kind of allowed due to the circumstances? No! It's done. That's how I see it. I don't care what the protests were about. I don't care what the people's stance is and what they feel like they're privileged with or what they're not. And if one isn't intelligent enough and has a proper heart to mind and a conscience to deal with certain things in the appropriate way, then no, I'm not interested. I don't want to hear it. And I will never approve or support anything like that. And the children that were killed during that time, ah, heck, I'm telling you what. Huh? Yeah. Again, self-serving. I don't know what. Huh? And children just become collateral damage. How come people aren't all up in arms about that? Huh? No? Yeah, right there. I know I'm not wrong. Anyway, so there it is. Yeah, there was something else, and I can't remember it now. So yeah. Oh, I'll mention that too. Now we got Pride Month. Yes, June is Pride Month, right? Yes. Pride Month in our little county where I live at, usually, that is Garbage Trash Cleanup Month. The people from all over the county go out, volunteer to clean up the county. The rivers, the creeks, yes, yeah, the hillsides, the mountains. And there's small prizes for the most bags, for the most tires collected, for, and that's every year. And it's been going on for many, many years. And that's the Pride Month, June in our little county. Clean up trash, garbage. Keep our county clean and beautiful. Yes? Yeah. Why is there so much trash out there? Because there are trashy people. And you got to clean up after them, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting, right? Yeah. So that's what Pride Month is in my little county. Right? It makes more sense to me. It's got purpose. That's got purpose. Yeah. So, and it's for everyone, right? Yes. Yeah. I think the way we celebrate, the way we have a Pride Month in June in my little county, I'm going to keep mentioning it, is for everyone. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't just support one thing or another. It's just about what? Uh, and everyone can help. The children, the older ones, just in one way or another. I think it's a great way to teach the children of my little county to keep their county clean, to be proud of their county. There you go. Right? Doesn't that make more sense? Yeah. And again, one doesn't fight two birds yip-yapping at each other. And it's a good thing, right? It's something that works towards what? Peace and harmony again. People working together, right? To keep their surroundings sustainable and clean. And yes, and then as I said, you have the ones that just it's one of those things. Just go along with it. Don't. That's why we have that month in the year. So If nobody were to care, I remember what that little county looked like about 30 years ago. It's like, I'm not moving into a trash can. Not going to happen. These people don't know how to keep their county clean. Then many years later, right, go back and oh, there's been some change. Yes, maybe somebody heard what I said. I don't know. I said, well, we need to look around. What's going on in our county? And not let this get further out of hand. Yes, and things more and more cleaned up. Yes, there's always some that. How does anybody throw garbage out of their moving car? I'm not getting that. It's so gross. But anyway. So there you go. And that's working towards better, something better. Right? Yes. Rather than, yeah, okay. That's what I see. So maybe one little county in the whole United States has a different purpose for the month of June than what it is being used for now. Might. One voice sometimes can make a change where the people then suddenly start to work together and say, hey, come on now. Might not be able to agree on this, so we'll just keep that separate. But we can agree on that. So let's work together on that. It's working towards a better for everyone. I don't know why that can't be possible. But it is what it is. Maybe that was kind of a little bit Moses. I don't know. I can't see. The chapter before, he's very worried about his people there. What are they going to do without me? Or how is that going to continue on? And the blessing that he gives bothers me too. Yeah. How are you expecting them to unite like that? And rather than talking to Israel as a whole, right, he gave each tribe something, which again, that's going to separate them out. Now, Moses said at the end of his life to us, my tribe, and we're going to take that. And so whatever he said to you, that's not my problem, or that's how you deal with that, however. I think that giving a blessing to the whole of Israel would have been much better. Work together. Remember what the most important thing should be in your life. And what is that? The appreciation for Yahweh, their God, our God. Right? Purpose of life is to bring God joy, not destruction. It's what it is. Right? Yeah. Okay, well, talk to them. Have to talk quietly. People are still sleeping. Well, that's all I have to say today. Right? Yes, God's love and blessings always. And I will talk to y'all. May He protect you as well. And I will talk to you all another time.